I don't even know what I'm nodding my head for, man, because I feel like I feel like I may live to regret this. Shout out B Monroe 88 on Instagram, man. She's always sending me like movie trailers and movie news and shit. Big horror fan, but she sent me this trailer for this movie called Ghost Board, and I started watching it, and I promise y'all, like 2 seconds into this shit, one of the young boys ran off screaming in the subtitles because this is a movie that is from Thailand, which I'll get to in a second. You know, the subtitles was the young boy screaming, saying, "I don't want to play anymore," but this motherfucker was running for his life. He automatically regretted the decision to play this game with his friends, and you can see these motherfuckers on the poster are running for their life too. But like I said, the movie's called Ghost Board, and y'all know, man, y'all know I don't like these inanimate objects, spiritual. Like, I'm still trying to get over the fact that I sat through the movie Tarot with the fucking cursed tarot cards and all of that. I'm just like, yo, man, I watched Wish Upon and all that shit. Could have actually been something decent, but nah, man. Not even Ryan Phillippe or the little girl from The Dark Knight could save that movie, man. And the girl Sydney Park from Scary Movie and The Walking Dead was in there, man. Nobody could save that. But this whole inanimate object shit, man, it falls in line with like the Conjuring movies and how I feel about the Insidious movies and the Nun and the Boy and the Girl and the thing that possessed everyone. You know, Talk to Me was another one. I just can't get with that subgenre, man. But the fact that this is a movie from Thailand, something about these overseas filmmakers, whether they're from Thailand, whether they're from Korea, Japan, whatever the case may be, yo, something about the overseas horror genre or the horror filmmakers, it hits a little different. They have a different system of filmmaking. I always say that. They've got different violence, they've got different brutality. The performances hit a little different at times. But the video she sent me, man, it was like, this is the Jumanji horror movie that we didn't know we needed, or something along the lines of that, man. Now, before I watch this trailer, right, I want to read this premise off to y'all. It says, a group of children stumble upon a dated board game hidden in a remote temple. Like, come on, man. I know they kids, but come on, man. It's already a recipe for disaster. When the dice are rolled, a vengeful spirit is unleashed, resulting in the game becoming a deadly trap. In order to survive, they must figure out how to stop it. This sounds like, with the exception of the remote temple, this already is Jumanji. This is already the premise for Jumanji, man, because if you go back and watch Jumanji, it's a horror movie. There's a fucking killer tiger a killer lion up in the attic walking on the piano. There's fucking mutant killer mosquitoes that are about the size of me. They're killer monkeys riding around, literally riding shotgun with a shotgun. There's crocodiles or the alligators, whatever the hell Robin Williams said it was. He corrected the actress, by the way. He put her in check. She's like, you wrestled an alligator for me. He's like, it's a crocodile. You can tell the little differences and all this other shit. What else was in Jumanji? The killer vines. Like, come on, man. The stampede, the monsoon. Jesus, man, that big ass thing with the big ass beak. That the beak was big enough to pick up the board game and fly away with it. Peter, we had body horror where Peter was turning into a goddamn monkey, like Planet of the Apes shit. Jumanji is a horror movie, man, but nonetheless, we gonna watch this trailer. We gonna see what this shit is hitting for. Now, I'm on YouTube right now. It said this trailer dropped 4 weeks ago. I didn't really know anything about it. I feel like maybe I've seen Ghost Board in passing, and I just scrolled past it because obviously, like I said, I don't really get into shit like this. But again, man, I'm gonna shout out B Monroe 88. But if this shit is ass, I'm definitely calling you out on this, man, because like, what are we doing, man? It says in cinemas June 11th. That's next week. Oh man, it's gotta compete with Evil Dead Burn. This shit Evil Dead Burn gonna blow this shit out the water. This joint gonna make I don't know. Let me stop talking. Let's check this trailer out, people. And again, this is another case where I should have did the whole StreamYard thing. There's actually a ghost little figurine for the game. You're damn right it's creepy. Oh, that wasn't the game with the little ghost thing. This is the game that they just found. I'm tripping. Whatever you do, never roll the dice. If you happen to start the game, it'll only end.
กลางกระดาน
when someone reaches for it.
สรุปตัวเมื่อกี้คืออะไรอ่ะผีมันออกมาจากเกม
It came out of the game. Is that a bullet? Oh, it's a little scroll thing that they're reading off of.
ตนแรก
ตัวมันควายได้อ่านหนังสือไม่ค่อย
He said you're grown as hell and still can't read. He said the first one has appeared. Beware.
จงอย่ามัวจากนั้นแม่อยู่นะ
วิญญาณแห่งป่าดงภูภัยสิงอยู่ข้างในปู่เจ้า
Okay, man, we got killer vines, we got fucking pterodactyls and swords and creatures from scary stories to tell in the dark. Oh my. That shit gonna bust right through that window. He said, I don't want to play no more. He was scared as hell. Oh, no. He grabbed the blade of the... That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh, they got weaponry to fight these things? Oh yeah. Now we talking. There was a headless swordsman? You going head on with the Jeepers Creepers 2.0. Okay, the kids got guns and flamethrowers and shit like that. Now that I like. Does this movie... Hold up, man. Does this movie look great? Not really. Does this movie look entertaining as shit? In like a silly way where I'm gonna have fun watching, you know, cherry pie fly? Sure. The fact that these are actually kids is kind of crazy because, you know, nobody wants to see kids die in horror movies or just in movies in general, but I think horror movies are... The level of fucks given as far as killing kids in horror movies is lowering and lowering every day, which is a good thing. You know, I like that we're going back to like kind of like the 80s and I want to say the 90s, but I really want to say, I think the first time I really experienced kids dying in movies was like shit like Pet Sematary when Gage gets hit by the truck. You know, that kid that gets eaten by the Blob in the Blob, the 88 remake, that was another crazy thing. But, you know, I feel like they, like, at some point in cinema, they did dial down a bit on killing kids in movies, but now they just don't give a fuck, man. That little boy, a fucking piano fell on that kid in Final Destination 6. And rightfully so, man, because that kid was a dick. But, yo, I don't know, this would be something like I would do, like, an Intoxic commentary for. Like, I would watch this, you know, whenever it's streaming, I would, you know, get a couple cold ones, do a couple shots or whatever, and watch this and just have a lot of fun with it. This ain't something I would take seriously, but I would watch this, man. I watch it. You know, it looks better than Tarot. I'll tell you that, man, because I don't even know why I wasted so much time on that shit. But again, you know, shout out B Monroe 88. It doesn't look terrible. All right, it was not a complete waste of time to watch this trailer. So, and I'll also say this shit looks way better than the last two Jumanji movies they came out with. And there's a third one on the way. So yeah, if we can get a Jumanji style horror movie, yeah, it'll make up for the last two that came out. For sure. I did like that bridge sequence on the last Jumanji movie. That was cool. With the baboons and shit like that. That was actually decent. But yeah, this is an apology for the last two Jumanji movies we got. So we'll see.